you have to coach the process. You can't say just like go make the play. All those things that go into it have to come to life in order to get what you want.
Coach Macdonald got back 9 o'clock last night or so. Tough flight back, but he's rested and ready. His team wins again. Good morning, Coach. How are you?
Good morning. Good to see you guys.
You all right over there?
Great.
Tough flight? What was it? Against the jet stream? Bumpy? What made it a tough flight?
No, you're just going west, into the wind.
Yeah. It's a pretty long flight back from Atlanta. That was a long way.
Yeah. No, it was great. No, it was a piece of cake. It's good. After a win, there's a lot you can go through.
Before we get into the whole game, I mean, the fans there? The Seahawks fans were incredible.
Oh, yeah.
Did I see Kirk Cousins with his hands over his ears just trying to hear over the Seahawks crowd noise in Atlanta? That's incredible.
Yeah, that was, like Tennessee, you're like, okay, like I could see, like I didn't know we were going to have that many fans, but Atlanta, I was like, I don't know, after the SEC champ, but we kind of had a heck of a showing there. It was pretty awesome. I had friends that they were coming from Raleigh.
Okay.
And the flight from Raleigh had a full plane of Seahawks fans, 12s in there. It's unbelievable. So shout out.
Did you know when you took this job that would be a thing?
I didn't know we traveled the way we did. Yeah, I've just been amazed by how well our fans travel. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. The SEC championship game was in that building just the night before, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah, you could tell at the beginning of the
game. How so?
You put it together.
Yes.
All right.
Well, it was a lively affair. Just, I know there may have been some challenges on the plane watching the tape, but I'm sure you saw some of it this morning, Coach. Just what did the game film jump out? To the casual fan, it looked like almost two different halves. Between a first half that was at 6-6 and a second half that was at 31-0. What jumped out on tape?
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I mean, it wasn't for like a lack of effort. I think our guys played really, really hard, and so that's like the first thing that pops to me on tape, which is non-negotiable. But it's also when it happens, you're proud of the effort, and so I think offensively we just got in rhythm in the second half and protected well and just played like better complementary football, even though we had a couple penalties there in the run game. Obviously, the kickoff return for a touchdown. I mean, that was just it's a beautiful thing to watch. Guys blocked their tails off, hit their guys. There's some tough blocks that were made, and then Rashid made a great run, which really sparked the second half. And defensively, we attacked the football, which is something that we've been emphasizing, and now it's we're starting to get some results for it, which is really great because we were putting some tough spots there in the red zone. The guys came up big.
You predicted the touchdown, I'm told.
Yeah, I'll let everybody else talk about that. I mean,
you predicted it.
Let's say I asked for it.
Okay. Well, just listening to Rashid talk about it after the game, he sort of made he said you predicted it, but what it really sounded like listening to him is that you just really liked the return you guys had set up and you thought there was a good chance it would work.
Well, I don't know. I was just in halftime. I just felt like we were due for a big return, and felt like we could get them blocked, and we did. So it was pretty cool.
Does that almost feel? I think Moose said afterwards, and as he was looking at the replays of it and kind of analyzing and diagnosing it from his seat, Coach Daryl Johnson just said, these kickoffs have almost turned into run plays.
Oh yeah,
because it's just
right.
So. Is it a little surprising you don't see more of these breakout returns in that regard, or is it just so difficult to get the 9 or 8 or 5 or whatever kind of blocks you've got to get on that particular play?
Well, I don't know what the actual stats are saying about the variance of returns and the yardages. I probably should know that, but I don't. But you're right. It is they do very resemble the run plays, and how they're blocked are, they're kind of like the cousins of run plays that you actually run on offense, which is interesting in terms of like how you scheme it up. Mm-hmm. But I do feel like, one thing about this kickoff is there's not a lot of depth to the defense. So if you do, get into the second level, there's a lot of space. And so it's tough to get to the second and third levels, and it's tough and sometimes it's tough to create overlap on defense or on the kickoff coverage units. So it's a really interesting play. It really is.
I heard you talking about process after the game and really focusing on process over results, and the results will kind of come from there. Where did that philosophy start for you? Like, where did you start to become a fan of process?
I don't know what the genesis is. If you just I think it's a good question. It's like when you're coming up and you're hearing people talk about why they don't like things or whatever. It's like, well, what do we do that went into this that we didn't like? We need to tackle better. Well, why? Just tackle. Well, how are we going to tackle? And so that's probably where the thought came from. Or you felt like sometimes when you're coming up, you felt like we made the right decision and we didn't get what we wanted, but you're like, well, why am I getting penalized? I felt like we actually did this right. It just makes sense. It just makes sense to do it that way. Just what are the things that you can control? And then if you're actually going to coach somebody, you have to coach the process. You can't say just go make the play. You have to. You got to tell them how to you got to show them how. You got to show them how to move. You got to show them what to look at. You got to train those moves. All those things that go into it have to come to life in order to get what you want. So I think it's just probably over time. And then it starts, and then so okay, well, what kind of team do we want to have, on a day-to-day basis, and then that's probably where that. Everyone says process over results, but it's really your actions back that up. Your actions and your words back that up on a day-to-day basis.
It's interesting in football because football can be more of a results-oriented game. In baseball, you can talk process all day, right? As long, because you're going to strike out however many times. You're not going to get a hit so many times. You have to think about the process.
There's more observations too,
right,
to back up the data.
Yeah, and it's a game of failure, so you want to at least focus on the process. Golf is probably the same way. Football, we tend, especially from the outside, to think so much about the result. So do you start to separate out mental and physical parts of the game? Are those two things related to the process idea?
I'm not sure. When you think about baseball and golf, it's to me, there's a lot of data points there. Okay. So batting average, you're going to have X amount of at bats over the course, and then all those things are feedback loops that you can stick to the process because the numbers are going to kind of iron themselves out over the course of the season. We don't really have that luxury. We get one really big feedback every week, but we have all these other data points throughout the week and throughout the off season of whether or not we're hitting those marks. So it would actually make sense to think that way is, okay, well, do we hit our daily marks? Do we hit our rep marks throughout a practice? And mentally, are we in those things? And if we are, well, you got to believe that those things are going to stack over time,
Do you guys, Coach, and this is another thing Moose chatted about a little bit, and I'm just kind of curious, do you guys still go a bunch of good on good during the practice week? Or is everything kind of scripted against scout?
Yeah, we've this is one of those methods things that we've been toying with coming out of last year, I think, and then going into this year. We really, I think, I feel this way, and I think our coaches feel this way, and the feedback that I've gotten doing good on good periods is really, really important, I think, throughout the week. Sometimes we do ones on ones, twos on twos. Sometimes we go ones versus twos versus ones, but we're calling our offensive and defensive calls in that game, but given a certain situation. But I do think it's important just to go out and play ball, get on scouted looks, play fast, make quick decisions, apply that week's game plan to a look that you additionally haven't really watched or isn't scripted. I think is really important. And of course, you got to get looks on card team. That's really important as well to make sure you're buttoned up. But I think it's a combination of both.
It's a one shared element that we actually have now, Coach, that I did a little coaching at a very low level comparatively.
Nice.
But Jim Harbaugh is who Mike Sanford, the head coach at our high school, worked with at Stanford. Yeah. And of all the different imprints, Boise and Stanford were his two biggest imprints. And we went live every Monday for until the final week of the season when we had a bunch of guys injured and we couldn't. And we went like multiple periods of like, we're not scripting. D coordinator's got to get better. I got to get better as a play caller, especially year one in the system. And everything was good on good. And man, did it callous us versus my life experience in the West Coast system, which was all script for success, right? We want to get in a rhythm. We don't want to see the ball hit the ground. We're going to script for a ton of success. It's almost script for callousing or script for success. And it feels like maybe leaning into that script to be calloused is something that's paid some dividends.
Well, yeah, I would say that. I'd say that's. I mean, we do that in camp. You know, like it's like we don't really do. I think maybe we did a handful of 2s-on-1s in camp, but it was always 1s-on-1s, 2s-on-2s in camp. Is our philosophy. Now there's a little bit. You know, there's time to do. We did like maybe a handful of periods where you're getting premium looks against the 2s in camp, but it was really just trying to sharpen each other in camp. And now when we go 1s-on-1s, 2s-on-2s here in the season, I mean. We're also taking care. I mean, we're competing, but we're not callousing in the season.
Yes.
You know, we're just trying to execute at a high level. You know,
yeah.
But I think the answer is it's somewhere in between. You know, and it's probably why all the philosophies exist is because there's no there's no true right or wrong. It's just kind of what's best for your team. I think.
So many of your 2s have been 1s at various points over the course of the year. I mean, just given the injuries and the depth on this team, we've talked about it a lot this year, but. I loved your comments yesterday about Okada and just how well he's stepped into that role. I don't know whether the secondary in general is the perfect encapsulation of all that depth, but I was just thinking through how many different ways you can line up those 6, 7, 8 guys in your secondary and have them be legitimate starting caliber players, whether it's on the outside, the inside, safety. How much flexibility does that offer you as a play caller?
Well, I think, you know, it's we've been fortunate on like a week-to-week basis, even though we've had like deviations in our starting lineup, you know, we're allowed, we can get to different things throughout the course of a week to give us a chance to win, you know. So if, you know, when DK was with us at nickel, we played a certain way to try to help him and do what he does best. He played really good, you know, it's just, you know, Ty comes in, we're playing a certain way. Julian's in, we play in a certain way. You know, Arizona game, Nehemiah's playing for us, you know, played a certain way. So it does give you some flexibility to, you know, design a plan probably to help the guys so they can go play their best on a week-to-week basis. And then now you're sitting at a situation where, okay, we're as probably as healthy as we've been in the secondary. Now we have all these things that we've repped and played at a high level. Now you got to make a decision on what you're going to actually play, but it makes you feel better sitting in the game plan room knowing that you can get to all these different things.
If I ask you a question about Nick Emmanwori, are you going to start talking about all the things that he didn't do well? Because I know how you are, and we'll ask about a guy who had a great game. You're like, well, you missed this, this, and this. But it's
do I do that?
You do that a little bit. Just a little bit. But
we call it a butt. We call it a butt.
A little butt. You got to throw some praise at the kid today, right? I mean, it sure feels like what he did, just in terms of filling up a score sheet and all of the different types of plays he made in the game.
He had a tremendous game. He really did. He played great. There's some things to claim on. No.
I'm sure there are.
I'll tell you what. The really his effort, his effort on the field goal block, the one before he blocked was tremendous. The first field goal of the game, maybe it was the second one. And it just warms your heart to watch it. It's a high level effort, and he's so close. And so I was really happy that he made that play because that's a big time play, man. It really changed the tide of the game, and you know, coming off the takeaway, and it was awesome. It was awesome. And he's just gonna continue to get better.
I said to Salk, that's where it'd be really fun to put Salk at that field goal block, or maybe an average human that double dipped on the SEC title game and your game, and put him on that edge to see how close the average human being would not get to that.
Oh,
ball.
Yeah, totally.
I mean, that's where those traits of his are just so alive, right? I mean,
yeah,
just
totally.
The explosiveness to be able to do that. Hey, Julian played 20 snaps yesterday. Was that kind of an ideal number in the plan going in?
Well, the way the game shook out, yes, I mean, we had a little bit more room for him to play, but we felt like okay, he felt great. The play he made on the first third down was just a phenomenal play. Man, what a great play that was on the 7 cut on Pitts. So that was awesome. So and like that took him. I think that gave him some confidence. Like, okay, I can burst and go and let it rip. And so that was really great. But so we felt like he was in a good spot and he was confident, and Ty was playing great and we were in a good position in the game. So we decided to say, okay, let's get to next week.
Hey, can we nerd out just for a second? Because I think every once in a while with the numbers to nerd out a little bit. Explosive plays. We hear all the time how critical they are offensively. I remember this was like 10 years ago, Mike, doing a UCLA game, 8 years ago maybe, with Chip Kelly. And he had numbers at that point. Like if you get an explosive play per drive, a 15-plus or 10-plus run or 15-plus pass, what that does to the scoring odds at that time, 7, 8, 10 years ago, does that still very much correlate today as you study the numbers? How important are those chunk plays that we really saw in the second half come to life?
Well, it's critically important to be able to get chunks and get explosives. I mean, we're trying to get, I don't know. I mean, you're not going to believe this, but I don't have like some hard and fast, like we have to get X amount of explosives. It's kind of like you feel it to me. It's like, are we doing it or are we not? Or where can we improve? But, that really that helped our offense in the second half. I mean, be great to get some more explosive runs, but we had some great job, and then even extended plays with Sam. I mean, those were critical. And then defensively, it's the same thing. I mean, there's always that balance of okay, how can we be aggressive while also kind of limiting our exposure to not give up. We actually gave up some explosive plays yesterday, and we did a great job of recovering and playing those next situations, but. It is critical. It's really hard to move the ball kind of 4 yards in a cloud of dust all the way down the field. It's really, really hard.
Time for my weekly JSN question.
Okay, let's hear
another new one. Well, this one's not about his play in the field, although obviously that was great this week. But just thinking back on how quietly he handled a quiet week last week. There's a lot of wide receiver ones around football that are noisy when they don't get the ball often and have what for them this year has been a down week. He did not do that at all. He was super quiet about it, whatever it takes to help the team win. How important is that to your team culture? And I'm sure you weren't surprised to hear that from him this past week.
Well, the first thing I'm saying is I'm not surprised because we know who Jax is and he's an incredible teammate. And it's almost like if nobody brought it up, it wouldn't have been an issue, but like people bring it up because it's an issue somewhere else. And it's like, well, that's not us. It's not an issue here. It's not how we roll here. It's not how he rolls. So that's kind of where I'm thinking about it. But because it's brought up, yeah, of course. I mean, he's a great teammate and he's going to do what it's going to take to win games. And 90% of the time it's going to be where he's playing an integral role and he's catching a bunch of balls and getting a bunch of yards and scoring touchdowns and really helping us move it. And every once in a while, once in a blue moon, there'll be a game where we're going to have to win it a different way, and that's what happened last week. So, yeah, I mean, but happy for Jet. I mean, and he had a great game this game. The guy he played great, played awesome, run after catch, blocked well, did a lot of great things. So he's back.
You know what else we got to see? We got to see Sam run the ball a little bit more this week.
Yep.
Was that just as the game kind of declared itself that there would be those opportunities for him, or is that kind of a little point of emphasis maybe here down the stretch that, hey, you are capable, you're a good athlete, and you can run it?
Yeah, I think both. I think that there's some opportunities that came up where he could extend the play, and they took advantage of them, and that's something that he knows he can do it. He's really good when he does it. We want him to do it. He does a great job of protecting the ball, and we've created some great plays when he does that. So hopefully he keeps it up, and also the way the game, some of the things that they were doing on defense allowed him to do that as well. So it's not like the good thing is he's not forcing it. He's just kind of letting the game come to him and then playing ball.
I know you often talk about Spoon being a force multiplier, and yesterday seemed to be a pretty good day for him. Can you help explain maybe some of the things he does in that game that are force multiplying, so to speak?
Well, I mean, the first thing is his competitive energy. I mean, the game, there's not a lot of energy at the beginning of the game. And, our guys were trying to find it, and so Spoon's one of those guys that brings it out of everybody and got the guys going, and the guys were, and I felt like they responded to, to what he brings to the table. And, I mean, just, he's playing 3 positions. The speed at what he plays at is just wow. I mean, there's a couple plays that I'm thinking off the top of my head where he understands route stems and denies the first cut for Cousins, and he either has to dirt the ball or he's going to throw it away or go to his next read. Some just like high level stuff, and then the interception he made, I think, is just a great microcosm of his game. Just we're bluffing a blitz and. He understands what some of their zero answers are, and anticipated the play, and then just the competitive nature of attacking the football and just kind of like ball finds energy. Like just the most active player on that play ended up with the football, and it's funny how that works out. So that's Spoon and fumble recovery.
10 pass breakups as a team yesterday, Mike. 10.
Wow.
How?
I didn't know that. So
yes, Pearson didn't give you that number either. Come on, Dave.
I don't really ask for how many PBUs we had.
No,
that's not the first question coming off the field.
How about 8 takeaways in the last 2 games and 9 points allowed? Is that winning football? 9 points allowed
football.
And 8 takeaways in the last 2 games.
Yeah, it's great. It's great.
You know anything about it? You know anything about Indy yet?
Do I know anything about them?
Yeah, had a chance to see them, watch them, know much about them.
I know. Shane Steichen is a really, really good football coach, and they got a really good football team. And it's a shame. It's a shame what happened to Daniel Jones. The guy's having a great year, and sorry to hear that. And he's a great play caller too. We played him in Baltimore in 2023, and we had our hands full. So we had a great challenge ahead of us.
Come out of that thing fairly healthy yesterday? The Hammer? Come out pretty clean?
Yeah, we think so. That was me knocking on wood.
Or at least some
more
sort
this
of
afternoon.
Whatever some sort of wood equivalent or whatever it is we're using
this
here.
This is a high-level studio.
Yes, we do the best we can. Coach, thank you. Appreciate it. Two games in a row without allowing a touchdown. That seems like that's
great.
That's a pretty nice thing. And a couple of wins. And
10 pass breakups, too. Do you know that?
10 PBUs. 10. Yeah, 10 PBUs.
I prefer passes defensed because I like the use of the word defense.
Right. That means we knocked them down.
Yes, 10 times.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, 10.
That's pretty good.
That's 10 of them. Coach, thank you very much. Congratulations. We'll see you again next Monday.
All right. Thanks, guys.